There is a power in this world so underestimated, so misunderstood, that it is often mistaken for weakness. Yet, it is the root of all abundance, the seed of every fortune, the silent force behind every visionary who has turned nothing into everything. That power is gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a frequency, a mental state that bends reality, that attracts opportunity, and magnetizes wealth, not just of money, but of meaning. The world trains you to focus on what you lack. You turn on the news, lack. You scroll social media, comparison, envy, scarcity. But the mind, like soil, grows whatever seed you plant. If you sow resentment, you'll harvest misery. If you plant gratitude, you'll reap riches, first in your soul, then in your hands. Gratitude is not passive. It is not some soft virtue reserved for comfort and convenience. Gratitude is a discipline, a decision, a defiant choice to see power where others see pain, to find light even when the storm is raging. And when you master that lens, when you make gratitude your foundation, not your reaction, you become unstoppable. Look at the titans of history. Thomas Edison, failing 10,000 times before lighting the world. Every failure, he didn't curse. He gave thanks. He said, "Now I know one more way it doesn't work." That was gratitude in motion, fueling persistence. Or Lincoln, grieving the loss of his beloved child, tormented by the pressure of a divided nation, yet finding thanks in the struggle because through it he forged unity. Gratitude isn't about settling for what is. It's about sharpening your awareness of what's already working so you can multiply it. It's the mindset that converts lessons into leverage, adversity into advantage. You don't wait to be grateful after you win. You win because you are grateful. That is the difference between the average and the extraordinary, because the average person sees obstacles. The extraordinary person sees raw material. The average person complains about the rain. The extraordinary one gives thanks for the water and builds a dam field of crops. You don't need more to feel grateful. You need better eyes. Because if you can't find gratitude in $1, you won't find it in 1,000,000. If you can't be grateful for the silence, you won't respect the applause. And if you can't thank the struggle, you'll never be worthy of the reward. This is where the power begins, in the mind. The great Andrew Carnegie said, "No man becomes rich unless he enriches others." But you cannot enrich others if you walk around bankrupt in spirit. Gratitude fills that spiritual account. It builds emotional capital. It is the internal wealth that becomes external over time. When you begin to focus not on what you lack, but on the gifts already in your hand, something shifts. You stop begging life for miracles, and you start becoming the miracle, because gratitude activates abundance. It draws it to you like a magnet, not through magic, but through perception, through attention, through alignment. You start to see what was always there. The opportunities hiding inside the problems, the allies disguised as critics, the strength buried beneath your scars. Your mind, once clouded by doubt, becomes a laser tuned into possibility. And that's when momentum hits. That's when life begins to work with you, not against you, because you're no longer resisting reality. You're in harmony with it. Gratitude doesn't mean you love everything that's happened to you. It means you understand that everything has happened for you. Every heartbreak, every failure, every detour, every rejection, every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every closed door, it was shaping you, breaking off the parts of you that couldn't go where you were meant to go. And once you begin to thank it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, you gain power over it, because nothing owns you. No memory, no mistake, no loss has control over a grateful mind. You've reclaimed your power, and that power is what creates the future. When Walt Disney was fired from his newspaper job for lacking imagination, he could have sulked, but he was grateful enough to build a universe from a mouse. He didn't let the world define him. He defined himself through a lens of possibility, of vision, and yes, of gratitude. That lens turned dreams into theme parks, sketches into cities, ideas into empires. Now ask yourself, what are you doing with what you already have? You've been given breath. You've been given a mind. You've been given time, challenges, talents, people, failures, dreams. And maybe it's not all perfect. Maybe your life doesn't look like the highlight reel, but the seed of greatness is already in your soil. It just needs the water of gratitude. And here's the truth. Gratitude is not just about your emotions. It rewires your brain. Modern science proves what the great thinkers always knew. Your brain, when flooded with gratitude, activates the prefrontal cortex. Decision-making improves. Stress dissolves. Resilience increases. Your nervous system aligns. You perform better. It's not fluff. It's not nice to have. It's the core strategy of peak performers. Do you think the Navy SEAL in freezing water, enduring torture-level pain, is only surviving because of strength? No, he's tapping into gratitude, grateful for the mission, grateful for the honor, grateful for the man he's becoming in the fire. Gratitude doesn't remove the pain, it redefines it, because once you assign meaning to your suffering, it becomes sacred, and once it's sacred, it fuels you, not drains you. That's how warriors are born. So stop waiting for the perfect day to be thankful. Stop waiting for the bank account or the promotion or the relationship or the validation. Gratitude is not a result. It is a cause. It is the root. And everything you want to grow must grow from it. You want clarity? Start with gratitude. You want confidence? Start with gratitude. You want success? You already know. You don't have to ignore your ambitions. This isn't about settling. You can be wildly driven and deeply grateful. That's the real formula: hunger and harmony, fire and peace, relentless action, grounded in grateful perspective. It's the paradox that most never master. They chase and wonder why it all feels hollow. But those who pause, those who breathe, who see the gift in the grind, those are the ones who rise and stay risen. Gratitude makes you magnetic because you walk into the room and your energy speaks first. You're not needy. You're not desperate. You're not a black hole trying to be filled. You're full. And full people overflow. They create. They elevate. They inspire. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. And when you are grateful, you radiate wholeness. Gratitude sharpens your vision. When you start seeing the value in what's already around you, your perception expands. You begin to notice the invisible, like a sculptor staring at a block of marble, not seeing rock, but a masterpiece trapped inside. Gratitude is that artist's eye. It reveals potential. It sees through limitations. Where others see nothing, you see everything. This is how visionaries operate. They don't wait for certainty. They move with faith, fueled by gratitude for the invisible forces already at work. Henry Ford didn't wait for public approval. He was grateful for the challenge of democratizing transportation, and that gratitude birthed the Model T. He didn't resent the skepticism. He welcomed it, because it meant he was doing something the world had never seen. The grateful mind doesn't ask, "Why me?" It declares, "Thank you. Now watch what I build with this." The more grateful you are, the clearer your vision becomes. You stop reacting to noise and start listening to the signal. You no longer chase success blindly. You attract it intelligently because you're aligned. You're not chasing approval. You're guided by purpose. And purpose is where gratitude truly catches fire. Because once you connect your daily struggle to something bigger, once you realize that your efforts are part of a larger mission, you begin to appreciate every step of the journey, even the painful ones. A man with purpose can endure anything. A man without it falls at the first blow. And what unlocks that sense of purpose? Gratitude. Because when you're grateful, you stop living in survival mode. You stop asking, like, how do I get through the day? And you start asking, like, how can I serve? How can I build? How can I make this matter? Gratitude shifts you from fear to power, from scarcity to service, from ego to meaning. This is why the great leaders, the builders of empires, the change makers of every era, always came back to one thing: service. They knew that gratitude fuels giving, and giving is where life expands. You want more? Give more. You want significance? Add value. You want to be remembered? Lift others while you climb. And you'll never do that sustainably unless your fuel is gratitude. Otherwise, you burn out, because service without gratitude becomes obligation. But service with gratitude becomes joy. The man who gives from gratitude never runs out. His well is full. His work is worship. His life becomes legacy. Think about Mother Teresa, a woman who walked through the worst poverty imaginable, yet radiated peace. Why? Because her spirit overflowed with gratitude. She saw beauty in every broken soul. She gave thanks for the chance to serve the forgotten. That gratitude made her glow, and that glow lit the world. Or Nelson Mandela, locked away for 27 years, robbed of time, tortured, silenced. He emerged not with bitterness, but with grace. He thanked the prison for forging the steel in his spine. That's gratitude, that's leadership, that's invincibility. Because when life breaks you, it gives you two choices: close your heart or open it wider. And gratitude is the key to that opening. So many people spend their lives numb, distracted, addicted, disconnected. But it's not because life lacks meaning, it's because they've stopped paying attention. Gratitude is attention. When you stop to thank the sunrise, you begin to see its power. When you breathe deep and thank your lungs, you realize you're alive. When you thank your pain, you reclaim your story, because everything changes when you feel it again, when you stop racing through life and start receiving it. That's when you move from existence to experience, from monotony to magic. And it's not about perfection. No life is perfect, but gratitude doesn't require perfection. It reveals it in the cracks, in the chaos, in the quiet moments no one else sees. And that's what builds discipline. Because once you're grateful, truly grateful, you stop needing motivation. You move because you can. You act because you must. You rise early not out of guilt but gratitude. You train your body, build your skills, sharpen your craft, not for applause, but because you appreciate the gift of becoming. Discipline fueled by gratitude is the strongest kind there is. Most people think discipline is punishment. It's not. It's devotion. It's an expression of thanks to the future version of yourself who's counting on you to show up today. Gratitude is what keeps you grounded when the world tries to distract you. It's what keeps you consistent when the results don't show up right away, because you're not chasing validation. You're creating value, quietly, daily, gratefully. And in time, the world begins to notice, because the world follows those who lead themselves. You become a beacon, not because you yell the loudest, but because your presence is lit from within. You walk differently. You speak with clarity. You don't shrink to fit small minds or beg for attention. You radiate. Because gratitude is confidence without arrogance, power without noise, leadership without ego. And here's the final truth. Gratitude isn't what you do when life is good. It's how you make life good. You don't get what you want and then give thanks. You give thanks, and that's what opens the door to receive more. The energy you put into the world returns. Every word, every thought, every belief. Gratitude is the highest signal you can send. It tells life, I'm ready. I'm open, I see the gift, and I will multiply it. So let the others complain. Let them doubt. Let them sleepwalk through life chasing what they don't even understand. You wake up with fire, wake up with hunger, but also wake up with thanks. Thank the struggles, thank the doubt, thank the failure, the fear, the frustration, and because one day you'll look back and you'll realize none of it was in your way. It was the way. You were never waiting on life to get better. Life was waiting on you to wake up and realize it already is. Right now, in this moment, you have access to the greatest source of energy, of alignment, of clarity, of power, your ability to choose gratitude. Not as a reaction, but as a foundation. Because when you walk through life rooted in thanks, you walk in a kind of strength the world doesn't understand. It's not loud, it's not showy, but it is unshakable. Storms may come, the world may spin, people may doubt you, betray you, forget you, but none of that defines you, because you are not a prisoner of circumstance. You are a creator of meaning, and gratitude is your architect. It builds your mindset, it carves your resilience, it wires your brain to seek progress over perfection, process over praise. When you feel like giving up, gratitude says that not yet, there's more here for you. When the road gets long, gratitude reminds you you're still moving, you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. And when the world tells you to focus on what you're missing, gratitude whispers, look again. You're not empty, you're equipped. Everything changes the moment you stop asking why it's so hard and start asking what it's teaching you, because gratitude is the teacher that shows up in every chapter. In the heartbreak that broke you open, in the job you lost that redirected your path, in the silence that made you finally hear your own voice. Every wound carries wisdom. Every delay holds divine timing. Every failure contains the raw material of a future breakthrough, but only the grateful will ever see it. You want to become more? Learn to honor where you already are. You want to lead others? Learn to celebrate your own steps, even the small ones. Because when you recognize how far you've come, you build the courage to keep going. That's not ego, that's awareness. And awareness is power. You see, gratitude is not the enemy of ambition. It is its secret weapon. Because a grateful heart is not a complacent one. It is a prepared one, prepared to receive, prepared to endure, prepared to rise again and again and again. Gratitude makes you durable. It makes your dreams sustainable. It makes your success meaningful. And in the end, it's the only thing that will matter. Because legacy is not measured in trophies. It's measured in how fully you lived, how deeply you loved, and how often you gave thanks for it all. So wherever you are right now, in pain, in progress, in transition, in triumph, pause. Breathe, look around. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And becoming is a gift. Every second you are alive, you have something to give thanks for. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Your story, your path, your mountain. And maybe you haven't reached the top yet, but that's okay. You're climbing. And gratitude is the strength in your legs, the fire in your lungs, the reason your next step will not be your last. So walk forward with thanks in your heart, steel in your spine, and fire in your soul. Because the most powerful force in the universe is not what you want. It's what you already recognize. And the moment you truly recognize the gifts you've been given, the moment you say thank you and mean it, is the moment you stop chasing miracles and start becoming one.